Zach LaVine, and his potential landing spots. Toddy sent us into the group chat. We talk about the group chat every episode, and Toddy broke the news. Zach LaVine would like to play for the Kings, the Lakers, the Heat, the 76ers, and the Spurs. So, Toddy, what were your initial reactions to his list of landing spots?
Why did he say the Kings first? That's the craziest part. I think it's like he narrowed it down to like top three, and the top three was like Lakers, Sixers, I think Miami was on there. But yeah, Zach LaVine, I'm thinking Chicago is trying to do a fire sale on the whole entire team and kind of just blow it up. Hasn't really been working. They lose again to the Orlando Magic tonight, thanks to Franz Wagner. Last second, and one that he ended up getting. And the night before it was Paolo Banchero hitting the game winner. So I just think that, the Chicago team is probably going to end up just trading all his assets away. That being Zach LaVine, probably DeMar DeRozan gets traded, and Vucevic will probably get traded. I think I saw Caruso was kind of in there trying to get into a package deal with one of the stars. So just as far as Zach LaVine landing spots, you'd love to see him play with LeBron. They don't really have a point guardy guy. He's more of a two, like scorer. So it's like he probably would be handling the ball a little bit more. But just another dynamic of a guy who's being able to score. I think he's averaging 21 points a game right now. So, scoring is really nothing for him. Another team I was kind of looking at that's not really on his list would be Indiana. I think Indiana would be pretty solid. Another guy that Halliburton can get the ball to. And, Halliburton's already averaging almost 13 assists a game. So it's like, him and Zach LaVine on on the fast break, and that lob to LaVine would be pretty crazy in Indianapolis. So that's probably a team that you won't hear as much or as frequently right now, as Blue is like, yeah, that's probably a really good destination. But I just think Indiana would be really solid. And, the other teams on his list, Philly would be nice, I think. The two scoring guard dynamic with an Embiid and Tyrese Maxey and LaVine would be pretty dynamic, I think so, because I think Maxey's averaging like 30, which is insane in itself. So more of the load would be taken off of Joel Embiid as far as scoring. By the way, he was the MVP last year, so let's not get that misconstrued. LaVine and Philly would be, I feel like it'd be kind of a little bit of the same thing of already what they have. So that's why I'm not too high on it. But I like him going to Indiana. I think that would be a really dope dynamic. And I think they would have a chance in the East. And I think the Pacers are kind of floating around in that 4, 5, 6 matchup as far as seeding goes on where they're at. But him going to the Lakers would be pretty crazy too. So, the Lakers would be making a move. I saw that the Lakers were also interested in DeMar DeRozan as well. So they might try to make a move at either one of those two. So
when I first saw the list, when he put the Lakers on there, like I feel like every time someone wants to get traded, the Lakers are on there. They realistically couldn't make a trade until January. I don't think he's going to last that long, so I think that's not really realistic. And I'm not going to come on here and be a homer and say that the Kings were, because before this news came out, I told Toddy we got to find two teams. Come up here with two teams that you think he'll be a great fit on. And I think he would be great on the Sixers. I think that Tyrese Maxey, a young emerging star, you give him that leeway to, if you have to struggle, it's okay. We have Zach LaVine and Joel Embiid, because Tyrese Maxey is a young guy. He still has to see a lot of this NBA. You're bringing in two all-stars, so to have him kind of have those guys to play alongside, like we saw him flourish last year alongside James Harden and Joel Embiid. So for Tyrese Maxey to be your third best player, that's a hell of a big three. So I think the 76 would be nice. I don't know what I feel about the Heat. I think the most interesting one from this list was definitely the San Antonio Spurs. Him and Wemby would be fun to watch. It would give the San Antonio Spurs fans hope. but I don't think that really makes him a competitor. That'll make him a contender. But we've been going back and forth in the group chat about this because I talked to Toddy, came at me hard. He's like, you'd rather Zach LaVine over Bradley Beal? You didn't want Bradley Beal at all. And I'm like, yeah, man, Bradley Beal doesn't play. Like I said earlier, he's played 3 games this season. Zach LaVine's younger and he's on a better contract. I'd rather take Zach LaVine 10 times out of 10 than Bradley Beal. We've seen enough from Bradley Beal, but oh my gosh, Toddy, they just returned a kick. Washington State. Shedeur came back, threw a touchdown to Travis, and the very next 2 plays, passed the kick. But yeah, so that Zach LaVine is I think his trade, wherever he gets traded to, is going to shake the NBA. So hopefully it's the Kings. I would hate to see him go to the Lakers, but like I said, I'd rather see him in that purple because him on the Kings, and with me and Ty were going back and forth on what the package would be. If we can keep Herter, Fox runners off the table. If we can keep Monk, Herter, I think we go get him. I think anyone else I think no one else. I think the 4 of them are
Keegan
untouchable. And Keegan, of course. Okay. Those four guys, like those 5 guys are untouchable. If we can keep those guys, those 4, and bring in Zach LaVine, I think the Kings are gonna really be able to shake some shit.